abusing a substance, for you to be tunaitaka kukua high, for you to be high and feel nice. It's true, you be high, you feel nice. It's not a lie. It's very true. And for you to be out there and be free, dance but this thing which looks very good or which feels very good has so many negative sides. I was drunk and then I told her, you see, today I'm going to spend at your place. And she said, it's okay. When we went to our place, I slept completely. I think nearly blackout. So nilifika kwake na mimi nikalala. But I could feel sasa hapa nimelala. You see, when you are sleeping in a different bed or whatever, coach, you can feel, hey, na hii coach leo iko aje? So when I woke up in the morning, she was so mad at me. She had even left for work and left a note which was saying, niache kumpima akili. Everything. The only thing I did not lose was the relationship with my daughter, because my wife then really protected me from, she did not expose there's so many weaknesses I had to our child. So in my daughter's mind, I was still that father in Christ. There are people I lost who I really would want them to be part of my life anyhow. And the others, I just say, I will be comfortable if they just go. Debt amounting to 1.4. And I was running. My phones were closed because everyone was looking for me. Of water. And me and my drunkenness, I was alone. I see a lot of water. I come out of the car. I wait for the water to pass. And I continue. I was in my mind, I was going home. But nilikuwa najiuliza, kwani leo nyumbani imekuwa mbali aje? I woke up in the morning in Lake Magadi. That one I'll never.
You're watching High Step TV.
Are you married? Or you're dating? Do you even have plans of ever getting married? Or you are single by choice? Join me on YouTube channel High Step TV as we dive deep into matters relationships, marriage, and parenting, and how these bonds affect our relationship with God. Let us learn together on ways we can improve and build strong, healthy relationships in the right foundation.
The Bond Show. Beautiful people, godly bonds.
Some people go to drugs. They start using drugs because of thinking that they can calm their anger, stress, can just have rest when they have used alcohol, drugs, and some things like such things. And when you do a research, you find that these people, most of them, they are from religious families, educated families, rich families, and they start just taking alcohol or some other drugs so that they can calm their mind, reducing stress, but they end up messing instead of achieving what they thought that they will achieve, because there is power in this alcohol which takes their mind and it start controlling them instead of a human being control alcohol. Today we are going to have a story of our brother who have gone through that, and you might be going through that or having a person who is in such condition or situation. But good news is that there is a hope that that person can come back to sober, can come back to his mind, a mind can it can stop, even though you see that it's like not possible, but it is possible. That person can come back to his sense, can become sober. Yeah, welcome to our channel, and here we just discuss about those relationships, families, issues, such testimonies like the one we are going to have now. And our aim is just to help other people to know that there is something which you can find yourself in. You can start it like a joke, but the end of that, it is serious stuff. So I believe that you are going to learn more about people who are using alcohol and how they can recover. We are going to have a testimony of one of them who is now sober for many years. I don't know how many, but he will tell us. But he has just welcomed us in his working place, garage. You can see behind us there is some cars which are damaged, but we will work on them. We will work on them. And if you have an issue of your car to be repaired, we have a sober man here who can work on it. Let me welcome him and reminding you to subscribe, like in this video. Your like help us to spread this video to others so that they can learn more, and we can help our nation by that. My brother, welcome.
Thank you so much.
You can start with your introduction to people who want to know who is this guy who is sober after long time when he was an alcoholism person. So just introduction, and then we really wanted to hear your story from your background.
Thank you so much. Most people know me as Adams. As I am now, I prefer to be called the names my mother called me, which is Mulili. Mulili is now my name, and then Kamalu. Kamalu is my father. It's my son name. So I prefer to be called Mulili Kamalu. But more people call me Adams, and they know me as Adams. My true color runs Adams Kamet, because Kamet is the company I started, and the clients I have, I think they saved me as Adams Kamet, so my true color says Adams Kamet. So those are my names.
Yeah, we are here just to have your testimony. Your testimony. That's what has brought us here. Just tell us your testimony, your story, how you were born, where, how you grew up, and how you ended up messing into alcohol, what happened due to take those stuff, and current life.
I have a request, because you found me in my working suit. You will just allow me to remove it even when we are on air. You can just remove it so that I can be comfortable. Well,
Guys, let him look.
Let me get a bit comfortable.
Just found him working on.
We call this overall. It's our working suit. Every person has their suit. Some are official. Ours look like this one.
I think I could have one for camera.
But what is important is the money. Eh?
Yes.
Yeah, so if you
This is,
dress up,
maker.
yeah, as long as you go with bread back to your family, that is what is important.
Something like money.
That's something I bought and I put it there. Now, let me just keep this somewhere.
Okay.
Yeah.
Here it is.
Yeah. Now, what was the question?
We are just waiting to hear your story from
Now,
background.
I
Who is Adams?
grew up in church. And I went to church basically because of my mother. My mother is this church woman. And I think I'm alive because I have a mother who prays for me. I have this joke I tell people, whatever you do or whatever happens, make sure you have a mother who prays for you, because the addiction I had really messed me up. And I was not willing to come from it, because one thing happens with an addiction, you don't notice whether you have a problem, because whatever the addiction is, if it's a substance you use, where I come from, we call them kilaiko. I remember the people who used to work for my mother growing up. One of them I remember is the fundi who built our house. When the nyundo breaks, he used to say, "Hey, acha nivute kiraiko kidogo," because you see, I never knew then what it was, but when I came and God helped me and my business picked up, and everyone, I was having so many clients. I realized later that I needed kiraiko moments, a lot of them. Because you see what happens with running a business. Kijana atakuwa tu anafungua bolt pale, then ameivunja. And you can't tell the client that kuna bolt yake imevunjwa. Na hiyo bolt inaweza kuwa ni ngiri 10. You have to process that. So the addiction I suffered, which was alcoholism, lied to me that to process hiyo bolt imevunjika, I can calm the mind. Then kidogo after overcoming that one, someone else unamwambia aende akabebe gari ya client na breakdown, sijui ameangusha wapi. So you keep having very many kilaiko moments. And before I knew it, I was addicted to alcohol. Yeah.
How did you start? I can hear about that calming your mood.
Yeah.
How did you start taking alcohol?
The first time I took alcohol, I was in Form 2. In the school I went, in high school. There used to be these small cans called Cane Extra. Then we bought them for 75 shillings. I can even remember the classmates we bought them with. And then because, you're in uniform, what, we used to send the makangas at a certain stage where I schooled. And then they bring, and you get into the toilet, you sip it in and drop the bottle, because we used to have these pit latrine toilets, pit latrines, and you drop it in and you come out. So then, when I first took Cane Extra, I just felt, in my mind, I felt a voice just tell me, boss, sasa hautasoma. Hiki tunaanzana nayo, hautasoma. So I became very intentional, because the boys we schooled with, most of them, who are my friends even today, used to take alcohol. When we go for mid-term, when we are going for closing. So me, I would just hang out with them, and I will not take alcohol. Then campus comes.
Now, before we reach there, I want you to help this boy or a girl who are in high school. When you are working, you used to take those things, I can call them drugs. so that you can calm your moment and control your stress. So why students do that? Or why did you do that in the school?
You see now, after suffering my addiction and hitting my rock bottom, at some point I became suicidal, and I had conversations with God. I was like, God, sasa hii maneno imehappen aje? And that is when I met Hey. And then through Hey, that is when I noticed that what happened to me is a bit natural. It can happen to any man. So, what I can say, there are things which the Bible says, which you don't know why the Bible says. The Bible will say, don't turn left. Sometimes when you are in high school, you are a bit curious. Unashindwa kwa nini watu wanasemanga mtu asismoke and smoking feels nice. Kwa nini mtu anasema mtu sikunywe pombe ama bangi and it feels cool. What I've noticed so far after going through so much, just do what the Bible says. You will be safe. It is the word of the manufacturer. You see the way a manufacturer brings out a car or a TV and he says, he writes a menu and says, for this thing to work perfect, because I'm the one who made it, it is supposed to operate using these instructions. And most the manufacturers, we are made by God. He's the creator. And he wrote his own instructions. They are in the Bible. So you don't figure out. Don't want to know why he says don't jump. If the Bible says don't jump, just don't jump. Because you are safe that way.
So you can, it's like you want to explain that those who are in the high school, those who start using drugs while they don't have stress, there is nothing to stress them. They just do it intentionally.
To celebrate.
To celebrate. They wanted to just to ignore what they were taught and to see what will happen.
There's something our culture does. Because if you come from this country, you have heard people say kukula maisha. Mm-hmm. Kukula maisha involves a drug, like going there and being happy and just celebrating. You have seen it all over on social media. But you know, it's a very big lie. The truth is, unaweza kula maisha even when you're not abusing it.
Good. I think some students or those young people can listen to you. You have an experience.
Yes.
Now, move on. From high school.
Campus, we used to use, I used to live in a rented house. So in campus, we used to have these in-house moment where you're having house parties with classmates, both genders, and you're drinking. And then, I don't know, then I could identify, fala amekunywa aje. Mse amekunywa sana. Dema amekunywa aje. Dema amekunywa sana. I was part of that party. The parties, I remember one party which happened from Friday to Sunday. Just drinking, people smoking. But then I used to be a bit conscious of what is happening. I could feel, boss usikunywe ingine. I could control my alcohol. And when the parties became many, because I don't come from a rich family, and then in campus you meet students who are a bit wired financially. So nikaona boss sasa utaanza kukunywa fees. So mi nikaondokea hiyo maneno. So it was not an issue for me in campus. But what happens in campus is you're having a girlfriend, because many people, just like me, had their first girlfriends officially in campus, and he wants to have fun. And then the community and everyone tells you the way you can have fun is going out there, dancing, abusing a substance, for you to be tunaitaka kukua high, for you to be high and feel nice. It's true, you be high, you feel nice. It's not a lie. It's very true. And for you to be out there and be free, dance but this thing which looks very good or which feels very good has so many negative sides. So at my age and with what I've gone through, I can say have fun, but it doesn't have to involve a substance use. Yeah.
So sasa ukamaliza
Yes.
university.
Now, after that, I was doing something very casual, because you see, we are in a country where there are no jobs. As a man, you can't go back to the village. You're going back to the village to do what? And then me, as this man who I consider myself very hardworking, I started doing something very casual in this town. I'm not going to say what it is, but it's legal. I did not go back to the village. And then I discovered what I was doing could make me some money. Because as long as it was very casual, but it could give me 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 a day. What happens with most people in the casual, that guy who pushes a mkokoten in town, to push a mkokoten, for example, from Gikomba to somewhere in a half town, it's 300, 400, 200 shillings. That guy pushes 10 times. Let's assume it's even 100 shillings. If he has 10 clients a day, 1,000. It's better than going from Jengo. Yeah, so this time I was doing what I was doing, which was casual. I used to, some moments when you feel leo nimemake pesa, because we used to have this moment just randomly you make 5,000. I just go buy kahalko in the supermarket and I go drink at home as I sleep. Yeah, that's how I started. My addiction started when I made this now where we are. It's called Kame Tautoke. It's online, it's everywhere. I started selling and importing parts. Then I had a garage at the same time. The garage was not here, it was somewhere else. God gave us these premises after I hit rock bottom, and I survived that accident. You can see it. So when my business started, I had a lot of kilaiko moments, and before I knew it, I was addicted. I was into addiction, and an addiction changes the way your mind operates. You will go and tell someone who is drunk, umwambie to just go randomly anywhere, even the next town here is called Nairobi West. Go to Nairobi West and tell her I'm Levi there. Boss, umekunywa sana. Utapewa mpasho. Sio lazima hata kutusi. Atakwambia usiungangane na maisha yako. Umesikia nikicomplain, because there is a lot of stupid pride in drugs or substance use. A lot of it. So I hit my rock bottom, and then that's when I realized, boss, umekuwa mlevi. Sikuwa nishaijua kama nilikuwa mlevi. But when I hit my rock bottom, I was in Kenyatta, the hospital. I was there. I was not having a house. I was not having a wife. I was not having anything. I was like, sasa hii ni nini sasa tena? How did I find myself here? And I hit my rock bottom and I realized ni kama nimekuwa mlevi. When I hit my rock bottom and I was able to ask for help, the person who was next to me at Kenyatta was the mother of my child. And she told me, boss, but wewe umekuwa mlevi na ukisikia unataka kusaidika kuna watu wanaitangwa na wanaweza kusaidia. Nilikuwa rock bottom. Sikubishana. I just told them, call them all, show me where they are, and then that is how I found AA. So I can say very confidently, in AA we say, if you are willing to, if you identify that you are in any addiction, because there are many addictions, and most people who are even in addictions are in charge. They don't abuse a substance, but they don't know that they're addicted. What I've discovered through AA, because the best thing which happened to me in my life is not even it's AA. AA opened a lot of my closed eyes. Besides the Bible, the best book I have read is the AA. We call it the Big Book. And I realized there are so many addictions. You've said even young kids, and people start developing addictions when they are young. Even the young kids these days, they are addicted to gadgets. You give them the gadget, they go play a certain thing. So there are so many addictions. There are people who are in charge, they don't drink, they don't smoke, but they are addicted to gossip. They will gossip anything, anywhere.
So you are saying that there is so many addictions?
Yeah, there are so many addictions, and they calm the mind. Have you ever seen ladies who, when they are gossiping, they go into a frenzy, like they just so focused in the gossip. When we speak this with my sisters, I'm a bit close with my sisters. I'm a firstborn, so they have grown after me. We close with them. We always talk about this when we talking about our mother. Our mother would just be sweeping the compound.
Now, take us to climax in the bar, the things, the unforgettable moments while you are drinking, or some things you lose because of drinking, and some incidences that happened.
Let's start with unforgettables. The ones I'm writing a book, so these ones have to feature so that they can be read. One of the unforgettables, one day, I live in a place called Ongata Rongai. One day I was taking alcohol with a friend called Paul. Now, after we took, I had bought my first car. So I went into the car and I drove, going home. And I drove all the way to Lake Magadi at night. And because Lake Magadi has this, I think it's Kenya Wildlife or some guards at the gate. The guards stopped me. And you know, it was raining. It rained, and that area has flash floods. And I'm just driving all the way, and I'm meeting a lot of water. And me and my drunkenness, I was alone. I see a lot of water, I come out of the car, I wait for the water to pass, and I continue. I was in my mind, I was going home, but nilikuwa najiuliza, kwani leo nyumbani imekuwa mbali aje? I woke up in the morning in Lake Magadi. That one I'll never. My wife, the mother of my child, knows that story. There is another one. Alcohol comes with a lot of. You see, a man normally you're supposed to. The Bible says, be on guard. So. At one time we had this club girl everybody wanted, every man who wanted, and I also found myself wanting her and eating on her. She was very beautiful. I think she had come, someone brought her from the village. So at one time she I was drunk, and then I told her, you see, today I'm going to spend at your place. And she said, it's okay. When we went to our place, I slept completely. I think nili blackout. So nilifika kwake na mimi nikalala. But I could feel, sasa hapa nimelala. You see, when you are sleeping in a different bed or whatever, coach, you can feel, hey, na hii coach leo iko aje? So when I woke up in the morning, she was so mad at me. She had even left for work and left a note which was saying, niache kumpima akili na nikiamuka nitoke tu niende. So I normally look back and laugh at that one. Because you see, as a man, when you see a beautiful woman normally and you are chasing after her, if she agrees to spend some time with you, you're supposed to. So now I look back at that one. That one I'll never forget. I might not put it in my book, but I will not forget that one. Those are some of the unforgettables. There are many. Your question had two parts: the unforgettables and the things I lost. I lost everything. Everything. The only thing I did not lose was the relationship with my daughter, because my wife then really protected me from, she did not expose there's so many weaknesses I had to our child. So in my daughter's mind, I was still that father. My daughter was 4, 5 then. So I did not lose her. But I lost everything else. At one time I was in this town. Sikuwa nashika simu za mtu wa Oshago. I would just wake up, because then I could not even come to my work station. Naamka tu naingia kwa bar. I drink. And then because people wa Oshago washaambiwa, hey, Adams venye tunamuona ni kama aendelee vizuri. My mother was looking for me, and I changed my phone numbers. I was not picking anyone calls. So for me, I lost everything. Everything a man can lose. I lost money. So much money was stolen from me, because people noticed that haukuji job na wakikupigia simu ni kama hata una sound tuko kwa bar. Wewe hujasikia, umewadanganya sijui umeenda wapi, but washasikia venye unaongea nini umseako kwa bar. I had so many. There is something I call social capital. Social capital is these friends who support the way you operate. Ule mtu tu unampigia simu unamwambia, and most of them are ladies. The social capital I had are ladies in my life. I don't know why. I lost them. I lost a lady we call Mwetu Amwathe. She comes from my community. I lost another lady I called the Iron Lady, who was really wanting to come in what I was doing. She had even given me money, 250,000. I squandered or lost that money. I was not careful enough to protect it. And someone who I had employed in my shop then stole it, lady. A rider ran away with so much money. You see, when we were here, you saw the rider. I gave him a second chance, because hata ukimshika umweke ndani, hiyo pesa itatoka wapi? So most of the money was, I did not steal money from anyone, but it was lost because of carelessness. You see what an addiction does? It becomes your main focus. So client atakuja, wewe umjui, akuja kwambie boss, si hii gari unitengenezea hivi na hivi nitakupea check. So you focus on the check. You don't focus on the background, whatever. The background. So you pick the check, you make the car, you pick, because I was having these people in what I do who could supply me parts on credit. And by the time I hit rock bottom, well, I was having debts amounting to 1.4. And I was running. My phones were closed because everyone was looking for me. And now God has given me a second chance. I've been able to pay some of those debts. The bank is about 280,000. I'll also pay them. I've through here, it's through here that I noticed there's something called make amends. And I had so many debts to pay. And the only way you make amends with the debts is to pay them. You take back, face that person and say, I was sorry, I messed up this and this. Because I was this guy who could call in what I do. You can see the cars I'm making. For example, this car, the market value of the engine of this car is over 500,000. So I was this guy who could take even 10 engines for this car and fix them and be paid after. But through this is a Discovery 3. Behind there is that BMX5. The engines go for crazy amounts. But I had established myself to the levels where I could be given those parts on credit. And my guys fix the car and we get paid. But through that addiction, I lost. And I was in debt. I lost that social capital. Because social capital, you see, it's not even about money. You have this guy who works, for example, he's a lawyer.
Yes.
And you have some court case, because after at some point I remember I was having some court case with NCBA Bank because a client had brought a car to be manned and it had some ilikuwa na madeni alikuwa amechukua, so he abandoned the car at the garage and NCBA were wanting to repossess the car juu ni yao, ni ya deni hawajalipwa. So they came for the car with some policemen. With them, you're not prepared for such eventuality. Because gari umeipark tu venye nimepark this one. We have had this one for over 6 months now. The client will just tell you, sina pesa ya kumake gari. But later inakujiwa. So NCBA came. And then I had very many lawyer friends. I would just reach out and say, boss, kuna kitu imehappen hivi na hivi na hivi. Because initially you are not prepared and the lawyer will charge you 100,000 for that. So you are not prepared. But when you have social capital who is a lawyer, you just reach out to them and say, hey, askari wamekuja hapa na hivi na hivi na hivi, anakuambia niko hapa milimani kotini, let me come. And he comes and he sorts that. So I lost everyone except, of course, my parents. I wasn't picking my calls, but when I hit rock bottom, they really helped me. And I did not lose my daughter. That one I'm so thankful to the mother, because she really protected me from losing my child.
Yeah, now I'm sure when we come to see people like you, and by the way, thank you very much for giving us this time and allowing us to use your face, your voice. Other people, they refuse that. I don't know. You can also tell us why you have accepted, because other people, they try to hide. But as I thank you for allowing High Step TV to use your face, to use your voice, and we also like to give you a chance, because these people, they are people who are still looking you in that past tense, past image. When they think about you, they think you are past. They look at you in your mistakes. Even it is hard to trust you again, because they think that you did not change. You are still the same person. What can you tell them as you even rebuild your friendship with them?
My friendship, my experience made me to know who was fake and who was real. There are clients, there are friends. Like I'll give an example. When I was doing well, I had this chama. We used to call it a sieve. A sieve it was chama I had made with friends, my friends and my wife's friends, and we were doing very well. We had collected so much money. We were looking. At one time, we wanted to buy land in Loitoktok. We even traveled down there. But in Asif, I look back at Asif because you see, when you are having something like that, all the characters of people come out. My wife then was a treasurer, and she was the best in that. Even now, if I'm running multinationals country, even when we're not in agreement, I still reach out to her and say, can you come and control my finances? Because she did that. There was another lady called Haida. I realized Haida brought in relatives. She was just so nice. When at some point she was struggling financially, she reached out to the chama to be given some of her savings. So I've realized there are people I lost who I really would want them to be part of my life anyhow. And the others, I just say I will be comfortable if they just go. Because you see, when you hit rock bottom, people justify reasons why to leave. They say, fala alikunywa aje, unaona sasa hata venye hana kitu. Because when I hit rock bottom, I did not even have a house. I was living in my sister's house, and everyone around me knew that. Everyone around me, that guy cannot even fend for himself. He's done. I was hiding from people who wanted their money. So there are people who really called me and reached out to me, even when we had differences. There is a guy called Augustus, so we had very bigger differences because we were in the same chama. But when he heard I am sick, I have had an accident, and I'm in my sister's house, she came and brought me food with the wife. They spoke to me and told me, boss, if you ever have a problem with something, just reach out to us. Those are the people I wish I knew back then, that a difference is not supposed to be amplified. It's supposed to be solved. Because you'll have a very good friend in your wife, for example, and then you don't like the way he irons your shirts. You're not supposed to kill that marriage because of the way she doesn't know how to iron shirts. You're supposed to fix that and continue. I say there's something which this experience taught me. Everyone God created, everyone the manufacturer made is different. Just the way our fingerprints are different. They are very different. You will not get another iron lady, because some of the people who have really helped me to be where I am today is the iron lady. You will not have another Mwitua Mwathe. You will not have another Mutua. You will not have another Noel. You will not have another Chalo. You will not have... there's a guy who taught me how to live in Nairobi. His name is... I will call him Masai. One of his many nicknames is Masai. Let him remain anonymous. Masai just taught me how to live in Nairobi. He's that guy. He's aged, but the relationship we started having a relationship with him when I was doing that casual business I was doing, and he would tell me, ukitaka msichana Nairobi fanya hivi. Literally, ukipata pesa fanya hivi. Ukitaka kuishi nyumba cheap fanya hivi. He just literally showed me how the sea works. Because you see, there is a psychology of those people who fish. Kuna siku you have to observe how the winds behave. Sijui siku ingine samaki wameenda wapi nini. So that guy, Masai, those are people, God has restored many of them. God has restored Masai, God has restored Mwitua Mwathe, God has restored Angela, God has restored many of them. There are many of them who I know. They have forgiven me, but we will not have the relationship because as we had it. There's a guy called, we come from the same area. I'll not mention his name. We just used to have to go to a place in Mlolongo to listen to music from our tribe. Just the two of us. We go down there, and he doesn't drink. We go down there. It's me who used to drink then, but controllably. Then we go down there, we hang out. I've noticed you will not just have someone else. So you're supposed to protect your friends. Always. life continues. You will not have another person like the one, because God made everyone different. You see that one person you call and say, I was adopting a pet for my daughter just a few moments ago. It was a kitten. And there is that friend you will call and say, nataka kuchukua paka. Nitatoa wapi? And this guy out of nowhere, you just tell you, go here and there, this organization has pets. You will call another friend. I have a guy who works for insurance and he's very resourceful in bringing me work. You will not call him and tell him, boss, nataka kuvaa suti, nitanunua suti wapi? Because that is not how he's talented. People are talented different. Him will just bring you work. He showed me how to work with insurances, farms, because at one time we were making cars for the insurances. And everyone is different. And there are people I lost who I know for sure. It will take me a lot of time and a lot of favor from God to find people like them again. But that's life. There's a prayer we do in AA which says, God, give me the courage to change what I can. And it's called the serenity prayer. I don't remember the other line, but it says to accept what I can not change. So far, I know there are friends I can have back, there are friends I can't have back, and I accept.
What I want is just you to tell them what was going on in you. It wasn't you. It was just those alcohol. But in normal life or now, you can handle your business, you can handle your everything you are doing without using drugs. And how is it now that you have stopped? There is anything goes wrong because you did not use drug? Now how is it now, your daily life in your business?
One thing, and I thank God for this, everyone is talented differently. I met the mother of my child when she was when I was going to campus. That's when we started our friendship. I was in campus first year, and then she was in Form 3 or Form 4. And I've realized I was in a relationship with one girl. Not cheating, not doing anything, not even, she knew my password, she knew everything. I know now that I really as a man gave it my best, because at one time I remember I stayed in a relationship with her and I could tell her even when we got married and we were raising our daughter, I could tell her, you're not going to take these drugs, for example, because we don't know what they change in the body. And that was my way of protecting her. I know now that the addiction I suffered really changed me. I did some things which were not good to people. There are people I really want to apologize to. One of them is her, and say, I'm sorry. And the guy you knew before the addiction, that was me. And that is who I am now. There is a God of second chances. And as you move on with your life, I wish you all the best. I wish you all the best. Some of the things I regret are things I tried to do so that I can have your attention, but I've realized that I will not have attention from people of your type by playing some stupid games like the ones I played on social media and the messages I was sending. So I'm sorry about that, and I wish you all the best because, I saw the letter you wrote me when you were leaving, and I know that you knew who you were in a relationship with, but you could not figure out what has happened. So that was an addiction, and I want to tell you something, Mama Stasha, that I now know what is my life purpose through my addiction. And I know who you are. I know how you used to. I was looking at our prayer book because you sent it to me the other day, the one we used to have. And I saw the prayers we used, because we used to write down our prayers, the prayers in that book. We used to pray a lot for our friends, so many of them. And I know that you have a heart for people and you don't have any cards written under the table. So wherever you go, maybe God wanted to use you to use this experience to mentor people, because so many families are breaking up because of addiction. And you can use that, what you went through, for you to help people. Because I know that despite, whether you with me or with someone else, I know that you are a good person. And maybe God wanted you to go through this experience so that you can help people. Because I know you have a heart of helping people. And the other people, I'm now in business. God has given me a second chance. God has given me now these premises. We're working from here. My garage is on. My spare parts shop is on. My import business is on. And when we meet, I will give you this professional side of me. You will not regret. So if you can bring us business, na maisha iendelee, my friend.
Now, as we finish, I want you to help this person who is like you in the past. He's using drugs, thinking that he's helping himself, but according to your experience, he's destroying his future. And there is other people just who think like you. They want to stop. They wish. But it never happens. How can you help this person to stop? And which kind of hope can you give to this person? And as you answer that, before you tell us how many years or months you have been sober now, so that they can trust that
since
you
from
also work for them.
Since from April last year, I have not taken alcohol, and I pray and hope that I'm not going to ever again test any substance. Where I come from a very famous tribe which migrated from the Congo. We say, there is a guy who sings a song and says, Ndenoyesi ndondasa, just to mean, hii dunia iko na vitu mrefu ama kubwa. One of the things which ni ndasa is an addiction. So if you can prevent yourself from getting addicted to anything. There are people, I did through here, I managed to know there are people who cannot normally drink alcohol. Just normal alcohol. People drink alcohol, right? But if you develop a craving and an obsession, you can't do that normally. So stay away. There is a very bright teacher where I come from. He passed on. May God rest in his spirit in peace. Now, everyone talks about that teacher. He was a very brilliant guy. But he had a relationship also with alcohol, which was not very good. And I've realized, they know and one of them is addictions. Kindly fear that and run from that. Any addiction, and then one of the things addictions do to you, you can't focus. It kills your focus and your willpower. You have seen ladies who say, huyu mtu ameenda kukunywa na hatujalipa nyumba, huyu mtu ameenda kukunywa na hatujalipa school nini. It's because the addiction becomes your focus. Now you cannot focus on other things. Those of us who were brought up by alcoholic fathers or parents have stories which they will give and say, nilikuwa natuma school fees na napata huyu mtu anakunywa na hataki kusikia story yangu. Because one thing an addiction does, it does not want to be threatened by anything. So you can be very talented, you can be very brained by like my primary school teacher, but an addiction can mess you up. So if you find yourself having an addiction and you want to stop, there are people who helped me. And by the way, I have to mention that I'm sober today because of the mother of my child. I met her through her. She used to talk about it a lot because she was around me when I was having the addiction. So if you want to stop, look for AA. It's called AA Kenya. Just go online and search AA Kenya. If you want, if you don't know how to go about that, you can also have my phone number. Call me, I will help you. My number is 0792 703 747. 0792 703 747. You can call or just text and say, I'm having an addiction, can you help? And I will show you and link you up with her. And those guys helped me and they can help me. Yeah.
Thank you very much for that chance also, because most people are wondering, how can I? How has he done it? How has he managed? Because I know people who comes even in the church, they can pray for them, they go back, they decide. I was with the one person, I will not mention his name. We were just talking, and he said he has stopped for drinking, I don't know how many years, and he did it again. So, and when you talk with such people, it is not their choice. They can even see that the alcohol is driving them badly, but they try to find a way to stop, and they cannot. But now, as I started saying that there is a hope, he has given the number, and AA is there to help you who are struggling from those drugs. And I think that's, is there any charges or how they
Those guys, they will charge you nothing. You just come with a willing heart to want to stop. They don't make the decision for you. You have to make your decision yourself. Identify that. Don't be like me, because my wife introduced her to me when we were driving. We go to a big church at Ngong Road. We were driving from that church. We used to go to that church. She still goes there. I go to a different church now, but we are driving from that church and she told me, boss, kuna venye unakunywa and kama unakunywa sana na ukisikia imekuwa shida. These are the exact words which she used. You can stop, and these guys can help. I told her with very stupid pride that nitakunywa mpaka ile siku nitakuwa na sababu ya kuacha. So don't be like me. You might not have sababu ya kuacha. It might kill you. It might not serve the sababu ya kuacha to you. It might kill you. We know, and I know so many stories of people who died in alcoholism. So if you find that it is a problem and you want to stop, look for a Kenya. It's online. It can help you, and not necessarily they help people who are in drugs abuse it doesn't have to be alcohol. It has to be any addiction you suffer. Most of it are substance use. There are people who normally addicted to sex and pornography. And that messes you up. You cannot focus on anything because you just want to hide somewhere. If you're a man, watch pornography, masturbate, some useless things. Huh? And you see that makes you weak and unfocused and with no willpower. If you find yourself having that addiction, look for AA Kenya. They will help you. Yeah, AA, it's called AA, it's Alcoholics Anonymous.
Oh,
it will help.
Actually, I wanted to ask.
And as you look for AA Kenya, if you find it, you hear it from me, just always. Remember a lady called Vanessa Mudama is the one who introduced that thing to me, and it's the best thing which happened to my life. May God bless her wherever she is.
Well, and there is this person is asking, now this AA, me I'm a Muslim and this sounds like a Christian. Anyway, by the way, the best option you can have it is Jesus Christ. But is this thing related to any religions?
I love the way we call God in AA. We don't call him God. We call him our higher power, HP. We call him HP so that he can fit in for the Christian. He can fit in the Christian can fit in, the Muslim can fit in, the Hindu can fit in. So whatever denomination, even if you are who you are, just come the way you are. AA will sort you out. It's not allied to any denomination. But it's the best thing which happened to me. I would not be alive today if it's not for her. So look for those guys.
Well, a big thanks to them, to AA, and also thank you very much for your time. One story I was told by one person from AA, he was addicted like you. He told me that in AA they tell you that you have, when you are using drugs, you have, is it 3 places to be, which is the hospital, police, and in the mortuary. I laughed. But when you are using drugs, you have 3 places. To the police, in the hospital, and in the mortuary. So you can find yourself in one of those places if you are not careful. Thank you very much. We hope that you are going to help other people. If you happened just to watch this video, we believe that you are going to help other people to know that they can stop for their own. You know, we have parents who are crying, really crying for their children, for their spouse, because of drugs. They wish them to stop, they pray for them, they have done all they can, but it didn't work. There is another chance. You can call the number for Mr. Adams, and he can explain to you how you can overcome, how you can stop, how your people can stop, and just help us like we have just helped you. Let us help one another. Thank you very much. Remember to subscribe to our channel as we continue to spread the good news and such testimony to help community and our nation. Thank you very much. See you next time. Bye bye.
This is High Step Media Production.
Je, wewe ni msanii na ungependa kuchukua hatua kabambe katika kuboresha usanii wako? Je, wewe ni msanii mpya usiyejua utaanza vipi katika kufanikisha usanii wako? Je, wahitaji kufanyiwa video za harusi, matukio, dokumentari au pia kutengenezewa filamu na kupigwa picha? iStep Media ina majibu kwa masuala haya yote kwa bei rahisi. Tutembelee pale Homeland au wasiliana nasi kwa njia ya simu kupitia nambari 0706299166. Karibu.
Kazi yao wanafanya ni kazi nzuri sana. Nimefurahia sana kazi ambao wanafanya.
Come to iStep Media Production. You never know, you can be a star of tomorrow.
iStep Media, kwanza wana upendo, ni wakarimu sana. Na kama ni wakarimu ndio maana tumefika hapa tumefika. iStep Media.